get started in just a couple minutes. Everybody, thanks for being here. Happy to see your smiling faces. We're gonna do a sound check for our streaming service. How is the sound in here? I need to speak up. Yeah. Okay. What? Can't hear anything? Yeah. Okay. I don't want to yell at you. Is that better? You can hear me better? Okay. And how is it? Are you checking on mine? Okay. Fantastic. So I'm Jen. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy to see you all. I normally teach at the Fitchburg location, so I always love any opportunity to come here to our just feels like such a special place and such great energy. I'm so happy to offer that same energy to our yogis who are practicing with us remotely today. So thanks for being here. We're in the midst of this pretty intense rainstorm here, so I don't know if people who are streaming can hear this. But we're just going to take this whole experience, this whole sensory experience into it. How's it sound? Okay. So feel free to just give me like a thumbs up occasionally. If you need, if I start to dip in volume, if you need me to raise my voice, okay? So for this practice tonight, I really want to focus on creating not only a sense of groundedness or connection, but strength. I think during this time of so much uncertainty, we can sort of feel like we're being waffled around and we kind of lose this sensation of where is our center, right? So when I'm talking about groundedness, I mean coming back to our center, not just focusing on our feet or our root chakra, really coming back to that full center from feet all the way around, okay? So we're going to try some balancing postures and some other practices to play with that a little bit. So let's see where this takes us with the added experience of the sound around us. So, having said that, I would like to do our centering practice standing. So a little bit different. So make your way to Tadasana on two toes. And let's just begin by finding a stance that feels right. Some might want their toes touching, some might want a little bit more space. So see what feels right to you. And let's find our connection before we kind of move into a grounding meditation practice. So lift your toes and spread them nice and wide. You might even look down at them. And feel how that lifts the arches or the domes of your feet. Feel that. Okay, and then see if you can keep that lifted as you place the toes back down one at a time. Let the knees be soft, the ankles be soft, and shift your weight a little bit side to side, left to right, and forward and back, and see if you can kind of find your center so that hips are right above heels and shoulders are above hips, ears above shoulders. Let the arms hang loosely at your sides. Let your eyes be at the horizon open. And just to check in, let's draw shoulders up toward ears and then remind ourselves to bring the shoulders back down. Good. Okay, feel your connection here to the surface beneath you. You might sense the temperature and the texture of that. Feel the strength of the legs, that energy coming in toward the center line. From the feet all the way up to the pelvis. From that root, grow a little taller in the spine. Reach up. Yeah, awesome. Toward the sky. Good. And let's take some slow breaths here. Find your breath. In through the nose. Out through the nose. Really slow inhalation and exhalation. Yeah, good. Shoulders, good. Let's do one more. your breath normalize, and let's just take this sensory experience in, allowing the sounds to come and go. Feeling the touch of air around your body. Noticing the light and the shadows in your periphery, maybe the color. How are you doing as we arrive to practice? Just checking in. You feel your mind whirling and twirling a lot. See if you can bring your awareness back down to the feet, to the texture of the mat or the surface beneath you. Bring your awareness to the palms and turn the palms of the hands outward to face toward me. And feel that energy radiating from the palms down the lengths of the fingers and out the fingertips. But inhale and slowly bring the arms around and up. And then exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Good. Bow head to heart. Eyes can stay open or closed here. Just taking a few more moments to tune in with this intention of groundedness and strength. If your heart is calling to you any other desires or needs or intentions, acknowledge that now. Great, bring eyes to the horizon, and we'll do that same thing again, sweeping the arms around and up, inhale, and then exhale, hands to the heart. Go a couple more times at your own pace, still being conscious and aware of your feet connecting, of your energy coming in toward the center line. So feel that line, even as you draw the hands toward the heart. Feel that energy coming again from crown down to heart. Let's do one more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. From here, bring your arms out to the sides and turn the palms up. You can experiment a little bit by taking the body a little out of balance, rising up onto the toes, and then slowly rolling back down. Yeah, and just play with this. Is just arms are just out here for balance. So if you feel more comfortable with hands on hips, that's fine. Just see what that's like when you rise up. Notice any gripping in the toes, maybe stiffness in the soles of the feet. Let's rise up one more time. All right, bring hands to the hips and come to the top of your mat. Just want to stretch the toes and the feet a little bit more. Step your right foot back. So a simple lunge here. Then keep both feet facing forward, pretty soft back and maybe both knees. Just stretch those back toes. So try to get all the toes down. And maybe you bend it a little bit more and come back up. And again, arms can go out to the sides. Forward, wherever it feels like maybe the hands and the heart. Just warming up the hips and legs and trying to get some movement in those toes and feet. So the next time you bend the front knee and you reach through the heel of the back foot, see if you can shift a little more weight to the front foot and then push off with the back foot to step forward. Yeah. And notice side to side. See if you feel a little bit more ease in that right foot. Perfect. Step the other foot back. Same thing here. And just trying to get some movement in the toes. See if you can even in the back spread those toes a little bit more. And this whole time that we're bending the knee and kind of taking the body out of balance, see if you can still bring your energy toward that center line, that midline of the body, staying grounded and connected to your center all the time. You might have experienced some wobbling, time you bend that knee, see if you can shift a little weight forward and actively push off that left foot over the other. Now try rising up out of the toes again and then back down. Again, arms can be where you want. Challenge your balance a little more, arms can go overhead. Supports again. And see, notice what's happening. It's hard to evaluate this if there's no mirror. Notice if your body wants to tip forward. See if you can just literally just rise straight up and straight back down. See what that feels like. Good. Arms back down. Okay. From here, we're going to do a half salutation. Inhale, the arms come up. Exhale, hands over the heart, bend the knees, and hinging like this. Let's just stay here for a moment in this forward fold, looking at your feet, feeling again the texture, the connection of your feet to the mat. And bring your fingertips to the insides of the big toes, bend your knees if you can't quite reach. And then just draw a line down the instep of the feet and all the way up the inner thighs, just so that you can remind yourself to feel that energy connected in. Bring the hands to the floor or to your shins and inhale them up for a half, like extend the heart forward. And then exhale, not down. Good. Let's bring it to chair pose. From here, you can bring your hands to the heart and the knees. Exhale back. Feel your feet, feel your connection, and still that coming toward the center. All the way up to the tops of the thighs. Take a breath here. As you exhale, come back to mountain pose. Let's do that again. Inhale, put the arms up. Exhale, and gently forward. And maybe if it helps you, just sort of draw that little line from the inside of the toes of the insteps and the inner thighs. Feel that connection. And then find your half lift, extending the heart forward, tail back. Exhale. Melt away. Yeah. Perfect. And then come into chair pose. Hands can come to the heart. Feel those feet connecting. Eyes at the horizon. Yeah. Good. Good. Take a breath in. And then exhale, stand up. Let's do one more of those, building some heat in the core, some heat in the hips. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, pop for half lift. Ardha Uttanasana, and exhale, Uttanasana. Stay here for 2 more breaths in this Uttanasana. Very grounding shape. Tail lifts up as head lowers, head is heavy. Good. Great. Come up to chair pose, Tadasana. Bend the knees. Real strong. Feel that connection as if you're kind of hugging a block in between your thighs. Take a breath. Good. And then exhale. Stand up. Let's bring the arms up overhead and hook your thumbs. So you keep your fingers wide. From here, take a little side bend over to your right. Yeah. Good. Stay there. Breathe in. And then exhale over to the left. Good. Stay there, breathe in. And then exhale, reach up. Bring the arms down. Circle the shoulders a couple times. Good. All right, a couple of warrior standing postures. We're going to keep it really simple. I want you to step the right foot back again. So you're coming into a warrior one this time. So before we keep the heel lifted, now we're going to turn the toes out and drop the heel. And pivot your belly and your heart toward the front. Good. And then you can find any warrior arms that you like. Your arms up to the side to the traditional. Good. So remember how we've been working on that base of the feet, feeling that connection, still experiencing the mat without gripping. Looks really good, everybody. Good. And then from here, you can keep your arms overhead if you'd like, or bring them back to the hands back to the heart. Just start to project your torso forward. Okay, arms overhead is much more intense. Hands at the heart is a little more gentle. Extend through that back leg, feel your connection. Good. And then you can come back up to a warrior one, and just as we did before, we're going to push off that back foot. to step forward. Good. Stay here for a moment in Tadasana and just observe how things have maybe shifted since we started. Taking in the sounds, the environment around you. Warrior one on the other side. You can step left foot back. Find your sense of grounding. And so even here, we didn't do this on the other side, but imagine that sensation of drawing your fingers up to here. So you're feeling that connection to the center, right? And then taking it all the way up to the ground. Again, arms can be up or they can be at your heart, whatever feels good for you. Yes, good. Beautiful. Good, take a breath here. And then as you exhale, we're going to come into that projected lunge. Just shifting the weight forward a little bit. The hinge is coming at the hip. Yes, excellent, everybody. Press that back foot down. Super strong. Feel how strong you are coming to that center. Nice. And then inhale, come back up. You can bring hands to the heart or to the hips and step forward with intention. Connect back to your mountain pose Tadasana. Let's do 3 breaths here. Notice how quickly the body finds homeostasis here, how quickly your breath settles, the heartbeat settles. Nice. Okay. I'm going to play a little bit more with this warrior sequence, kind of adding in some balance. We'll start with the right foot back first again. Coming into that warrior one. And for this first round, I'd suggest you keep hands at the heart or at the hips just till you get this practice coming down. We're going to start here, and then this time we're going to come into that projected lunge. And then maybe let that leg lift up a little bit, maybe just a little tiny bit. Sort of a warrior 3. And then you can land. Okay? So I want you to just play with this. What's it like when you take off a little bit more, lifting it that way? And if it feels better to have arms in an airplane mode, that works too. Notice what happens with the breath as you bring the body out of balance. Okay. Great, coming back to warrior one as you're ready. Shift your weight to the front foot, and this time, instead of bringing this back foot to the front foot, see if you can step it forward and lift the leg. Yep, keeping your balance. We need to touch that's fine. Let's try it again. Stepping back, maybe a lunge, maybe a warrior one. Yep, same thing, just shifting, bringing that leg forward. Notice what happens in your mind, your breath. We'll try one more. Come back up. Put the foot down. Take 2 breaths. All right, before we go to the other side, let's take that right leg and cross it over the left. Coming into Garudasana, Eagle's Pose. Put a bend in both knees and actively squeeze your inner thighs toward one another. Again, we're coming back to the center. You should feel your core turning onto your lower abdominals. You can bring your arms in cactus and keep them here if you like this, or you can bring the arms into Eagle's arms, placing the right arm on the bottom. Backs of the hands can touch, palms of the hands can touch, or you can rest here. Lots of options. You decide if you want to play with lifting those toes with the right foot. And just see what this is like. Can you stay centered and grounded at the same time here? Strong, but find the ease. Softening the jaw, the breath, the tongue. Really nice, really nice. Good. On your next exhale, unwind the feet, the legs, unwind the arms, and just let the arms kind of shake out a little bit. Good. Okay. I'm going to repeat that sequence on the other side. You guys can still hear me? Over here, can you hear me? I'll face this way this time. Okay, so left foot steps back this time. Warrior one. Remember, we're just playing. This is an experiment, right? This whole life that we're living in, this world that we're living in right now is an experiment. Nobody's been through this before. So we're trying to feel what it's like when we experiment in our body and notice what happens. What's our normal response with breath, with mind. Okay, so when it feels right, you can shift the weight to that front foot, just as we did in a projected lunge. You can start there, and then shift the weight more forward, and let the back leg lift. Feel how strong those big glute muscles are, and then you can land. And just play with it a few times. It's an experiment. If you feel like you want to stay, it's fine. You can move your arms a little bit, finding some playfulness there. See why we kind of softened up the feet and the toes in the beginning, right? When you're ready, land. No rush. Yep. And then we'll try the other variation again. Hands can be wherever you like. Where you can shift forward and then bring that leg up. And maybe here you want to play with not even placing that foot down. You can hold on to a wall. Notice what happens to your breath, your gaze, your jaw. Love it. Love this. Okay, next time you bring the leg up, put it back. Tadasana. Here's where we practice experiencing homeostasis, right? So we take the body, try these challenges, these curveballs that are thrown at us, and then we reset. Okay? Notice your body's ability to come back to a more sattvic state, a more balanced state. Check in with how the weight is distributed side to side and front and back. And then visualize that center, right? Starting from the insides of the big toes, moving all the way up to the crown. Feel that. Beautiful. Okay, Garudasana, eagle's pose on the other side. Left foot crosses over. Lots of options here. And keeping in mind that both sides might very likely be different. Okay, so take your time here. Again, any variation of arms you want, get creative, or we can come traditional eagle's arms. And maybe you just play with little ankle rotations, little toe touches, or maybe you wrap that foot around. The entire time drawing inward toward your center, feeling grounded, feeling strong. Yes. Staying here, a couple more breaths, adding in some ease in the eyes. Taking in the periphery again, like we did in the beginning, the sounds. Okay, on your exhale, unwind your legs, unwind the arms, give them a shake. Okay. So, if you have a dog in your life, you know what dogs do, right? When they wake up after they have a bath, when they have some sort of stressful chase event, what do? Shake, right? Reset, resetting. So literally shaking sometimes in between these challenging moments can really help. Okay, we're gonna try one more balancing sequence here. So you can come back to the top of your mat. And we're gonna start by shifting the weight to the right foot. And let's bring the arms out kind of in this like sort of, I don't know, W shape. Keep a soft knee on that right leg, and then let the left leg lift up. So we've been here before. This feels slightly familiar, right? Let your eyes be at the horizon, soft, and see what happens when you try to open that leg. You don't have to take it 90 degrees. It can go a tiny bit, right? What happens? Notice. Down, lift up. Good. What happens when we bring it back to center and maybe slightly across the midline? Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Good. Back to center. Put the foot down. Come into tree pose for Tadasana. And let's start with hands at the heart. You root down through the standing foot and keep everything drawing in so that you're not putting too much pressure on that standing hip. Okay? We're going to play a little bit here with a little asymmetry. Let your right arm come down and your left arm up. Yeah. Bring the hands back to the heart and then switch. Left arm down, right arm up. Both arms up. Hands to the heart. Take this foot wide. And then really good movement for the hips is to just kind of do this little stirring action. So make sure that you're going back and side to side, not just staying here in the front, right? So really big circles here. And change direction when you're ready. So this should help ease any tension in those external rotators. Okay. Just for fun, before we go to the other side here with our balancing pose, let's try bringing arms up overhead and flipping the palms up. If this is too intense, you can skip the interlacing or keep hands at the heart. Go back to that, rising up on your toes. And back down. And do it again. Connect to your center. Connect to your center. Yes, yes, yes. And then back down. And then one more time. You guys are so steady. Look at this. Feels different than the first couple, huh? Good. Bring the arms back down. Okay. Shift your weight into that left foot. And bring the right knee up. And bring the arms back into that little kind of W shape. So notice this is my wobbly side. So I have to really focus on connecting here and ease my way into the opening, not going as far as the other side maybe. Yeah, perfect. Keep rooting down. And then what would happen if you come through center and go across the midline? Nice. And then come down if you want. You go right into tree pose. So again, any variation of tree, foot can be planted on the shin or on the thigh, anywhere but the knee. Okay, start here. Left arm down, right arm up. Come to your center, yeah, good. Hands back to the heart and switch left arm up, right arm down. It's weird. Good. Hands to the heart. Take that wide stance again. Shift the hips. Okay. One more standing posture, go the other direction before we come down. Super simple. What I want to do is, because we've been doing a lot to stretch the back of the foot and the back of the leg, I want to stretch the front and the shin side, okay? So from the top of your mat, just step one foot back, it doesn't matter which one. And see if you can press all the toes down and really get a stretch along the top of the foot and the tops of the toes. This can be intense, so tread lightly. Notice if your body's going forward, see if you can lift up. Breathe. Pretty intense, eh? No, that's so simple.
One more breath. Okay, bring that forward and then just shake that leg up. Hold it. Like you're flicking off that tension. Yeah. Okay, other side. This is a good way to tune in also when we do 1 foot at a time to kind of tune into how you might be distributing your weight, what your habits are. So notice the difference on this side, check in with your posture, maintaining your connection to that center line the whole time. Eyes at the horizon. Yeah, great, you guys. A couple breaths, soften here. Good. And then come on out and shake it off. Okay. All right. So back at the top of your mat, let's just come to Tadasana for 3 breaths here. Again, eyes at the horizon. Feeling strong, feeling connected to the earth, to the heavens, and to your center. Rounded. Nice. Turn the palms out. Inhale, bring the arms around and up. Hook your thumbs the opposite way as before. Take a breath here, and then on your exhale, take a side bend over to the left. Breath in. Exhale over to the right. Good, breath in. Exhale, come back up, and then float on down. Feel free to bring a half lift in here if you'd like. And then we're just gonna stay in this Uttanasana for a few breaths, just enjoying the forward fold. Remember, if you have any spinal disc issues or any osteoporosis, you can opt out of the forward fold, so check in. While you're down there, look at your feet, your toes, notice if there's any gripping. See if you can lengthen all the toes from the base of the foot all the way out to the toe tips. Yeah, great, really nice. Let's take 2 big breaths here. Inhaling, expanding the back ribs out and up. Exhaling, melting the heart down. Try it again. Inhale, right between the shoulder blades. Expand the rib cage. Exhale, melt, surrender. Good. We're going to step back. 1 leg at a time. You can come down to the knees, and we're going to make our way to a child's pose. Just take a little bit of a rest. Feel free to place a blanket underneath your knees to support your knees if needed. And support the head. So maybe making fists, stacking them one on top of the other, resting your forehead there. Good. Once you get there, roll your head a little bit side to side. Yeah, massaging Ajna Chakra, third eye. Feel the length in your spine. What's it like to be connected to your center here? What's it like to feel strong here? Nice. Let's do 2 more nice, long, slow breaths here. And then as you're ready, please come into tabletop position, hands and knees. Yep. Okay. Let's talk about modifications if there's any knee challenges. You guys all okay here in this space? Okay. Wrists. Okay. So spread your fingers really wide, stack your shoulders above the wrists and your hips above the heels. I'm sorry, your hips above the knees. And feel the tops of the feet on the floor. Good. Wave your tail a little bit side to side. You won't be here long. And extend the sit bones away from the crown so that you're creating as much length in the spine as possible. You might draw the pit of the belly up toward the spine to support you here. And then we're going to just come into some simple cat-cow moves. I call this variation Chakra Bakasana. So we're gonna start with the breath in, and then as you exhale, drop the tail, drop the head, come into the cat. Actually, we'll do a few rounds normal first. Inhale into the cow. Lift the tail, lift the heart and the eyes. Exhale, cat. And then this time, move the hips back toward the heels and come into a variation of child's pose. Okay, when you're ready to inhale, you're going to move forward, reach through the crown, come into cow. That's your inhale. Exhale, cat. Keep exhaling, sit there. Inhale forward. Let your breath guide this movement. Let it be fluid. And be very aware of your connection to the earth and to your center as you move fluidly here. Right? Just as any plans we try to put into place these days need to remain fluid, so do our minds and bodies. Breath. Let's try one or two more here. And then curl the toes under. So come back to tabletop. Curl the toes under and move your hips back toward the heels to where it feels comfortable. Once again, that you're getting a strong, but not too intense stretch in the toes and the soles of the feet. Again, if you want to back off on the intensity, move your hips a little more forward. If you want to make it more intense, you can walk back. But if you're here and you're gritting your teeth and holding your breath, it's really not having the intended purpose. Let's just stay here, 2 more breaths. And then come forward one last time, untuck the toes and just tap the tops of the feet on the mat. Good. Let's come down to our bellies. We're starting crocodile position, so elbows bent, hands stacked, rest the forehead down. Legs can be long, you can have some space between your legs. Try to keep your toes from curling in. Just keep the tops of the feet on the floor and wobble your hips a little bit side to side. Just getting some movement in the sacral area and a little stimulation of the abdomen, abdominal organs here. All right, one more breath here. Let's move the legs a little closer so that the big toes are close to touching, maybe touching. And then bring your hands into cobra position so that your fingertips are right alongside. Yeah, exactly. Forehead stays down. Draw the elbows together. And just feel sort of this connection here to the back body, to your center in this position, right? So still energetically drawing toward the midline here. Pubic bones grounded, forehead's grounded. Yes, looks amazing, everybody. On your next breath in, let's come into an easy cobra. So you'll lengthen through the crown, lift the face, the shoulders, the chest. You don't need to come up very high, and then exhale, just place it all back down. We're going to try this rolling cobra a few times. Tadasana, staying connected again, very grounded pose. Big surface area of the body connected to the earth here. And keep going, just a couple more there. Yeah, it's really good, really good. So the arms are real quiet here. The arms are not doing any work. It's your upper back doing the work in your center, your whole center. Yes, amazing, perfect. Okay. Rest. You can come back to crocodile. You can keep your hands where they are and turn your head to one side. Rest here, notice again. How long does it take your body to reach homeostasis. See what you notice about the breath, the mind, the heartbeat. So even though we did baby versions of Bhujangasana, it's still a back bend, can be pretty stimulating. Beautiful. We're going to do one more here on the belly. This time, please bring your hands down, your arms down alongside your body. Once again, bring the legs close together. Okay? And I want you to take this real slowly because you should not be feeling this in your low back whatsoever. So if you do, then you're either doing it too much or you should not do it at all. Okay? So same way we did before, lengthen through the crown and lift. And maybe you lift the hands up and reach through the fingertips. So we're gonna hold here, but we're gonna keep the breath flowing. Maybe you lift one leg at a time and place it back down, and then the other one. But staying with the breath. Okay, take a break when you need to. Reach through those fingers. Strong, you feel the shoulder blades coming toward the center line. And then release. As we rest here, let your awareness move into the belly. Feel the belly expanding outward toward the floor on the inhalation, and softening and melting toward the floor on the exhalation. A couple more like this. It's one of my favorite little pranayama practices. A great way to just kind of take things down a notch. Yeah, I can see the breath in the low back, you guys, really nice. A couple more here. Like you're massaging the low back, the front side of the spine, the lumbar spine. Yeah. A couple more, and then you can bring the hands back into a cobra position and make your way onto your back. I'm going to dim the lights here, so. Resting here in a Shavasana shape, just noticing how you're doing. Remember that sensation of the belly expanding into the floor. See if you can replicate that here without the feedback of the floor. Again, let this be playful, let it be an experiment. Move your head a little bit side to side. From here, bring the right knee in toward the chest for Tadasana. And please, if you didn't already, take a little height under your head if you need it. Just bring that right knee in toward the chest. And now switch, bring the left leg in. Reach the right leg long. And now switch again. This time, see if you can let the left leg kind of hover above the floor a little bit. Keep the shoulders relaxed. and switch. So we're just gonna do a little bit of sort of core strengthening here. Maintaining that sensation of coming to the midline from the insides of the big toes all the way up to the front. Even as you switch legs, feel that as if there's a magnet between the legs drawing them together. You're certainly welcome to lift your head here if you want a little more intensity, but it's not necessary, especially if it starts to feel too intense or if you start to feel ungrounded when you do that. Okay, so we're gonna finish on the opposite side here, so make sure you finish on the left. And then bring both knees to the chest and let both legs come straight up toward the sky. Arms can go in a little V or up to the sides. Your legs don't need to be straight here, so the knees can be slightly bent. But do your best to have the thighs right above the hips. You should feel your abdomen, your abdominal muscles kicking in here. Let's see if we can activate the feet a little bit more, reaching through the ball knots of the feet and spreading the toes, just as we did in the very beginning when we were spreading the toes toward the mat. Can you almost feel the texture of the air here? There might be some shaking going on. Just kind of embrace that. Okay, take a breath. Good. Put a slight bend in the knees and cross the right knee over the left like you're doing Eagle's pose. And then lift your head up momentarily so that you can reach the shins and put your head back down. And just a nice stretch here, you can sort of draw the shins outward, try to keep them parallel to the floor. Nice stretch for the outside of the thigh. Yeah, this might be intense, so feel free to modify as needed. Yeah, put your head back down. It's lifted. Yeah. Good, good, good. So a supine variation of Eagle's pose or Tadasana. Okay, take a breath. And then release the hold on the shins and let the legs come straight up again. So you're gonna hold here again, activating the feet. Maybe this time you bring the arms up overhead for a little more challenge, maybe not. Keep drawing your belly down toward the floor, toward the spine. Keep the breath flowing, one more. And then cross the left over the right. Again, you just lift the head and the chest so that it makes it easier to kind of hold on to the shins. And the idea here is to keep the inner thighs close toward one another and the shins as parallel to the floor as you can get them. Yeah. Yeah, good. Tail long. On your next exhale, let the legs go straight up again, arms overhead, and then bend the knees. Put the feet on the floor. I know you want to bring the knees to the chest right now, but we're going to hold off a minute. Let the legs go long, long, long. Breathe. Either arms can stay overhead or you can bring them down alongside your body. Expand that belly just as we did before. As if you're expanding downward toward the floor, lying on your belly. Recovering. Okay. Bend the knees, feet on the floor, please. Shift your hips a smidge over to the left. Let the knees drop to the right. Arms can go in a low V or a T. You can take any variation here. You can let the right ankle rest on top of the left thigh, but you don't need to. And you don't need to go super far either. So wherever it feels comfortable. Turn your head to look over the left shoulder. And experiment with keeping your breath low in the belly. This can feel a little more tricky when we're in a twist, expanding the belly out and up. Looks really good. Taking a breath here, big breath in, and moving your legs on an exhale, coming back to center. And shift your hips to center, and then move them over to the other side, to the right, as you let the knees drop to the left. You can turn and look over the right shoulder. Take a big breath in the belly. Feel the belly expanding outward as you breathe in. And then on the exhale, move the knees back to center. Shift the hips. Let's bring both legs up one last time. Bring your hands on the insides of the thighs and then come into a happy knee. You can pull out the shins, the big toes, the feet, it doesn't matter. Knees sit wide, soles of the feet parallel to the floor or to the ceiling and the floor. Feel free to rock side to side. Keep the tail long. Keep the tail long. And you can even put a little more activation here by pressing the arms into the inner thighs and meeting that pressure with the inner thighs. Bring your arms to the outsides of the legs and let the arms help bring the legs together. Come into Tadasana, knees to the chest. Place your hands on the knees, and then just do a little movement here. The knees will move away from you slightly, and then come back in. Hands stay on the knees the whole time. Exhale as you draw the knees in. Take a big breath here, and as you exhale, maybe a sigh. And let's come into Shavasana pose again. Legs long, arms alongside the body. Give yourself some space between the arms and the body, and some space between the legs. Let the feet turn down. We're going to move into our relaxation. You don't need to stay in this shape. But just stay for a few moments to notice. Move the head a little side to side. Move the hips a little side to side, sort of rocking. Okay, I want want you to bring your awareness to the body here. And slowly begin to bring a light bit of tension into the body. So light fists, light scrunching of the toes, and start to engage all the muscles in the arms and the legs, the glutes. Wrinkle up your face. So you're feeling this tension. Squeeze the shoulder blades toward one another. The breath is still flowing. Take an inhale. And on your exhale, relax all of it. You're welcome to stay in this shape here in a Shavasana, corpse pose. Or bend the knees if that would be more comfortable for your spine. Become aware of the body breathing. Sense the surface supporting you. The sounds around you. The sensation of air touching your skin. Present and aware to what is right now. Nothing to do. Just receiving the gifts of your practice. Experiencing the felt sense of awareness in your body and in your heart. Present to the sounds, present to the stillness that remains here. Feel how you are aware of this stillness. Just being here. Just being with whatever arises, thoughts, sounds, sensations. Resting into being. Very slowly. Become aware of the body breathing once again. Experiencing the gentle rise and fall of the abdomen with each breath. Continuing to sense and be aware of this breathing. Your connection, your wholeness. Slowly begin to lengthen the breath, taking a longer breath in and out. And feel energy entering with the breath. As you begin to become more conscious of the sounds around you, the space, maintain that sense of ease and well-being, and start to bring a little bit of movement into toes and fingers. Moving the head side to side. If it feels right, you can roll onto one side, rest there. If it feels right, stay here or slowly come to a seat and maintaining that sense of fullness and ease as you become more upright. Let's bring hands to the heart, please. Just layer your hands one on top of the other, and then separate them a little bit and hook the thumbs. This is the Buddha Mudra, Eagle's Mudra. Your fingers are displayed wide across the chest. Bring to mind this intention of groundedness, strength. Bring to mind any other intention that we're working with today. With deep gratitude and thank you for being here with us, for sharing your presence and your practice with us today, whether here in this space, in the rain, or at home. Thank you all for being here. Grateful for this community and this time together. Namaste.